Hello, it's Mechanic Link. So there's a video that's making its rounds, and the mechanics are starting to chime in on this one. I've gotten a couple messages, so let's see what we've got.
In the year of 2023, it absolutely boggles my mind that mechanics think that they can still rip customers off and get away with it.
Alright, we're coming in hot. Most mechanics can't run a business anyway. They would charge you a case of beer and a pizza and wonder to themselves why they're not making any money. First and foremost, let's point out the obvious. Mechanics don't set the price. Business owners do. And sure, some of those business owners may have been mechanics once upon a time, but they're not. They're business owners. Very rarely are they still mechanics. That would be the same as going to a Southern Steak and Oyster, walking back into the kitchen, and then yelling at the chef, hey, your prices are too damn high.
So my roommate was having a rough idle in his car, and I was like, hey, it's probably spark plugs. You probably need to get them replaced.
Okay, so he had a rough idle, and we're going to make a guess. Maybe it could be spark plugs. Or maybe it's the mass airflow sensor. Maybe the snorkel is ripped. Maybe the intake is leaking. Could be like a fuel pressure. Could be faulty NOx sensors. Could be a sticky throttle plate. Could be leaky injectors. Could be loss of compression. My point being is, unless you have all the tools to diagnose what exactly the problem is, it's just a guess. It could be anything.
Sure enough, check engine light comes on, and he gets told by a shop that he needs new ignition coils and spark plugs.
Great. Now let's lock that into memory. Before you said that it was probably spark plugs, and the shop said it was spark plugs and coils.
He Googles, see it's about $200 for the new spark plugs and ignition coils, watches a 10-minute long YouTube video, and finds out he's got to buy about, let's call it $50 worth of tools from the auto parts store.
First and foremost, let me put this out there. I have always supported do-it-yourself, and I have always supported the right to repair. With that being said, for the people who do it themselves, they assume the risks that are involved with doing repairs. $200 worth of parts, $50 worth of tools, 10-minute long YouTube video. What could go wrong? With fellow mechanics, we have kind of a running gag that do-it-yourselfers keeps us in business. I mean, it doesn't take much. Use your imagination for a bit. You look like a strong individual. Can you imagine, if you're cranking down on those spark plugs, and then all of a sudden, quarter turn too far? Righty-tighty turns into loosey-goosey. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to spend my weekend trying to chase spark plug threads in a 2010 Volvo XC60.
It took about 30 minutes. So between a 10-minute long YouTube video, us working on the car for 30 minutes, and about $250, his car's back up and running perfectly fine.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that worked out for you.
If he were to get that work done at the shop, they were going to charge him $1,000.
Now we're getting to the root of the problem. I'm going to make something very clear. Auto shop part prices will never be able to beat online store prices. You were able to buy coils and spark plugs for less than $200. If I were to make a guess, you probably got those coil packs from SKP, which is warehoused out of Singapore. Volvo uses Bosch. Those are like $65 a piece, plus shipping and handling and sales tax, plus upcharge, so let's round it up to an even 100. 6 coil packs, that's 600 right off the bat. You're certainly not going to get 6 NGK coils for under 200, or Denso for that matter. I don't think you could even do it with Delphi. And in Nashville, Tennessee, to get a shop to diagnose a vehicle, that's about $150. Now, to be able to do 6 spark plugs and coils on that vehicle, it's going to be about 1 hour. So that's another $150. Now, you can get Champion spark plugs for $3 or $4 a piece, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be going for Denso spark plugs, which run at about $16 a piece. 16 times 6, 100 times 6, plus 150, plus 150. That's just about $1,000. So, yeah, that adds up. As far as I can tell, I'd say, yeah, that's kind of the going rate for that job. Now, if you think that is outrageous and too expensive, by all means, you are entitled to your opinion, and nobody can take that away from you. Why should I pay $70 for a 10-ounce steak when I could buy the same damn thing over at Walmart for $6? Why should I pay $800 for somebody to cut down a tree when I could buy a chainsaw for $50 at Harbor Freight? Why should I pay $8 for a pound of flounder when I can catch one with a 5-cent worm?
Because it's absolutely absurd. You should always be checking, whatever a mechanic says you need to get done, always double check to see how much it's going to cost to do it yourself.
There really isn't much left for me to say that hasn't already been said. You can always find cheaper parts. You can always do it yourself. And the thing about the auto industry, or rather business in general, People work to make money. They don't work to break even. Every year, the rent for these shops goes up. It takes money to keep the lights on. It takes money to buy the tools. It takes money to keep people on the payroll. This industry is forever evolving. It's becoming more technical, more advanced, and that requires more skills, more tools. Well, let's rewind a little bit. Cut out the middleman entirely. Get rid of the mechanics. Who needs them, right? You figure it's probably spark plugs. So you buy $25 worth of spark plugs and $50 worth of tools, and you're starting to put the spark plugs in, and you're feeling confident, yeah, this is going to be it. You go and put the key into the ignition, start her up, and you still have a rough idle. And now you're sitting in the driver's seat of a 2010 XC60, and you're $75 in the hole, and you don't know what to do from here. I don't know about you. I'd be a little disappointed. For some, it'd be devastating.